We leave Gila, Lone Butte and head to Tucson in search of new casinos. We stop by the University of Arizona and then head over to Desert Diamond, where they brought me out as a VIP to showcase their all-new high roller room. They gave me some food and drink comps as well as a $50 credit to play with, so of course your boy tried running it up on the blackjack tables, only to lose it all 3 hands later. No worries though, we're decent at poker, so we hop over to Casino del Sol looking to run it up. We hop into the 1-3 game for $500, and here at Casino del Sol, the max bet is $680. Look down at our first hand on the button, King 10 offsuit, a few limps, I raise it up to $15. No shortage of action here, there's 4 callers, so going 5 ways to the flop. Flop's pretty great for us, it comes King 8-5 rainbow. When all 4 players check it over to me, I go for a standard c-bet of $30, just half the size of the pot. And good news, all the other players fold, so we're going to be taking down that first pot of the night.
Club. Need an 8? No. Oh yeah, I have an 8.
Next in a note, we look down at Ace 10 of diamonds from the button. When the action's on me, I raise it up to $15, and both the under the gun and middle position players both find a call. 3 ways to a flop here with around $50 in the pot comes King 5-3 rainbow. Under the gun and middle position both find a check over to me. And given the fact that I miss this board, I balance here and I go for the check behind. Turn comes the 8 of clubs, which doesn't change too much, although it does put out a club draw. Under the gun checks again, so does the middle position, and I'm not going to be taking a stab here, although I could after 2 passive lines on the flop and turn by my opponents. I check behind, let's see what the river brings in. River comes the 10 of spades, so now I'm assuming I have the best hand. My thoughts are confirmed when both the opponents check it back over to me for a 3rd time. I'm not going to check behind now, I'm going for a little bit of thin value, looking to target a worse 10 or an 8. I bet $15 and the under the gun's curious of what I have. He sticks in $15 as well. Middle position gets out of the way. I flip over my cards. Under the gun shows pocket 4s, so he called us down extremely light there. Happy to get a little bit of extra value on the river. With $550 now in our stack, we look down from the button at Ace Deuce of clubs. There's 1 limp, and middle position pops it up to $12. I could be going for the 3-bet here, but I'm just looking to cooler someone. I stick in the $12 as well. That brings in 2 other players, so we're going off to the flop. $52 in the pot. The flop comes outstanding for us. Bang! We flop the straight. And the action checks over to me. I fire for $15. There's a lot of value we could be getting from other opponents. If someone has a 6 in their hand, they're going to be calling regardless, as well as the opponents that have clubs in their hand. We do have a redraw to the ace high flush draw, so we're not worried about much. I stab for $15. Only the middle position player finds a call, so we're off to the jack of hearts on the turn. Pretty much a clean brick for us. Opponent checks it back over to us, and with $82 in the pot, I size up a little bit here to $50. Unfortunately though, middle position gets out of the way, so our flop straight and redraw to the ace high flush is only going to net us $82. Happy to take another one down though, and we're off to the next hand where we look at King 10 of spades, and I raise it up to $15. Middle position finds a call, and that brings in Randy, our buddy. He shoves all in for $43. Not looking to go anywhere for an additional $30. I stick in the call, and Randy shows us pocket queens. We're going to need to get lucky on this board, and that's in fact what happens when we flop a king, King 5-4, 2 diamonds. Randy does have the queen of diamonds, so we need to fade one on the turn and river. No worries though, the 5 of spades eliminates that worry, and the 3 of spades on the river all but seals the deal for us. We take down that $115 pot.
Oh, shucks.
Next hand with $660 in our stack, we look down at 7-9 of clubs from the hijack. Straddle's on and Moses puts in the call. Need to balance my range, so I 3-bet 7-9 of clubs at $25. Straddle player and Moses both put in the call, so we're going 3 ways to the flop. 79 in the pot, the flop comes ace 10 8. We have an open-ended straight draw, a backdoor flush draw, and the ace of spades we could represent in our pre-flop raising range. When both players check to me, I think it's important to bet here. That's what I do. I fire for $35. The straddle position gets out of the way, but Moses puts in the call, so we're heads up in position to the turn. Turn doesn't really change anything. It comes with 3 of hearts, and Moses snap checks over to me for a second time. Given the fact that we just have 9 high, we do have a lot of outs that could come, and I probably would play an ace in this manner. I fire large now for $110. Before I can even get my chips in the middle, Moses snap calls, and one of you guys left a comment like 10 videos ago that when somebody calls you and matches the stack right next to it, it usually is a sign of weakness. That's exactly what Moses does here, so I'm not really giving him too much credit at this moment. However, his snap call on the turn is a little bit concerning. The river 3 of diamonds is pretty much a blank, and Moses checks it over to me again. $369 in the pot. Do I go for the river bluff here with 9 high? When he calls my 3-bet pre-flop and the flop and the turn for pretty large sizings, there's a high chance he will have an ace. I throw that live tell that one of you told me out the window and decide to check behind, hoping we made the right decision, and he shows us an ace that he probably wouldn't have folded. Sure enough, that's what he does. He shows ace queen. It's unlikely that he would have folded to any sized bet on the river there, given the fact that he had 2 pairs. I fold my 9-7. Happy I didn't go for the bluff there on the river. We were probably going to get snapped off, and we go on to the next hand. Next hand to note, we look down at king queen offsuit, and I raise it up to $15. No shortage of action. We hit 3 callers, so we're going 4 ways. The flop, which comes king high with 2 hearts, king 5-4. We have the king of hearts in our hand. Action checks over to me. A third of the pot seems appropriate. I fire for $20, and we just get called in one position by the middle position player. Heads up to the turn comes the 8 of hearts, bringing in 6-7 and the front door heart draw. I fire for $47, just not looking to give a free card to the middle position player. He's not looking to fold just yet. He sticks in the $47 as well, and we're off to the river. The river 3 of spades only brings in the wheel ace deuce. We're not too scared of that, and at these low stakes, people will pay you off with all sorts of hands, so for that reason, I go for a little bit of thin value, $55, just looking to exploit the opponent. Sure enough, that's what happens. He calls my $55 bet and shows pocket 9, so interestingly enough, we got that super thin value against 9s. Didn't even have king jack or king 10. We show our king queen and scoop down that $308 pot. Fair warning, you guys may hate this next hand. Feel free to roast me in the comments. I'm a big boy, I can take it. We look down at pocket kings. There's a straddle on and a player in the hijack position who is a good player who I've literally seen in 2 hours play one hand, raises it up to $25, which is a large raise at this stakes. Nothing to do but the 3-bet here with pocket kings. I make it $75. The action folds through the straddle all the way back to the hijack player, who now thinks about his decisions. I'm expecting just a call or a fold here at these low stakes, but that's not what happens when he 4-bets me to $250 with only around $200 behind. The action's back onto me. Now I know what you guys are thinking, Wolf, why aren't you just going to rip it all in here or flat call, looking to get no ace on the flop and then proceed accordingly? But here's my reasoning. I know I shouldn't be putting opponent on one exact hand. I know that. I apologize in advance, but this opponent has only played one hand. He went for the raise to $25, which is larger than the $15 open, and then when I 3-bet him, opponents usually just call or fold. Instead, he goes for the 4-bet to $250, which is extremely strong. I'm putting him on a very narrow range of aces and maybe ace-king. I don't even think queens or jacks he would play this way. For that reason, I make a super exploitative fold here. In hindsight, I think I just need to be calling him off here for around 150 big blinds. But we have a vlog, so we're usually going to be able to tell opponents to show for the vlog and see what they had. That's what happens. I turn over my pocket kings and fold them face up. And the opponent is kind enough to show us ace-king, not kind on my soul though, because that was the one hand I didn't want it to see. I'm almost 100% positive I should just be ripping it in there. Aces versus kings, if it happens, it happens. It's a cooler. I'm going to learn from this mistake and not fold kings pre-flop again, unless the person is older than 90 years old, and I'm going to stick to it. Hey, we're here with Emmy and Roy. You can guess which one's which. I'll leave it up to you, but 2 homies here at TUCSON. Come say hi to them if you stop by. How'd you guys do today? Oh, you're still playing, but you just cashed out.
$800 winner.
Hey.
Not too bad.
A little splash in the pot. Now everybody's smoking a cigar right in the casino. That's how they do here in Tucson.
Hey. With a white Russian, double tequila.
Hey.
Tucson, baby.
Tucson.
Hey, nice meeting you guys. I appreciate it. Next hand's a doozy, but in favor of your boy here. We look down at ace-king offsuit, and I pop it up to $15. Middle position raises it to $40. He goes for the 3-bet, and the action folds back around to me. Just looking to get it in here versus the short stack, I rip it all in for $90, and he snap calls and shows pocket aces. That was what we were expecting to see in the last hand, but instead the opponent on my right gave it to the opponent on the left. No worries though, we still have a little bit of equity. Equity improves a little bit on the flop when it comes king, queen, 8. Turn comes a 10 of diamonds, so now we can win with any king, and we chop versus any jack. The river comes a king of clubs. Bang! We river 3 of a kind. The opponent's aces gets cracked. I've never cracked an opponent in this way with aces versus ace king. Happy to get one back for the good guys here, and we go on to the next hand where we look down at king 10 of hearts. I raise it up to $15 and we get called by the small blind, big blind, and the middle position player 4 ways to the flop. Flop comes queen high, queen 6-4 with 2 clubs, and the action checks to me. I check behind and we're off to the turn. Turn now comes a jack of diamonds, so we pick up the open-ended straight draw, but there are 2 flush draws on board, the club and diamond variety. Small blind bets $40 into the $60 pot, and when the middle position Moses player calls for $40, I think we're getting a good price to draw to an ace or a 9. We do have to be careful though on specific club or diamond rivers. I decide to put in the $40 and we're off to the river. River did not give us help. It additionally brings in the front door club draw. The 7 of clubs peels off. Moses in the small blind now postures himself before going for a pretty good sized bet here. Not really too sure exactly how much it is. It looks like the Leaning Tower of Pisa there. I'm going to say $200, but either way with just king high here, and he doesn't have much behind for us to go for a bluff, I make an easy fold. Unfortunately, middle position folds as well. Moses doesn't show his cards, and we're on to the next hand. Pick up king jack offsuit here. We have 530 in our stack. We're in the early position, and I raise it up to $15. And now Emmy in the +1 position 3-bets us to $40. Action folds back around to me, not looking to fold king jack offsuit here. Emmy's a good player, but we're looking to get into a good situation against her. I stick in the call, and we're off to the flop. On a flop of ace 5-10 with 2 diamonds, we have the king of diamonds in our hand, but the ace of diamonds is going to connect more with the +1 player's 3-betting range. I start with the check. Expecting to face a c-bet here, that's not what happens when Emmy decides to check behind. I think this pretty much caps her range here. If she had any of the strong aces in her range, wouldn't she just be going for a c-bet here on this board with the 2 diamonds and possible gutters to Broadway? So when the 10 of diamonds comes on the turn, we pick up the king high flush draw. Additionally, we still have the gutter to the queen. Given the fact that she checked back on the flop, I think it's time now to start going for the semi-bluff. I stick in $50 here, just looking to see what she does. Not too worried if she calls, but hoping for a fold. That's not what happens though. She sticks in $50, and like I said, not too worried. In the river comes the jack of spades. Interesting card because now we do pick up some showdown value, but like I said, when she checks the flop, I just don't see her having ace king or ace queen here. I'll have more of the 10s in my range. The jack of spades is the only worry card because she could be checking back the flop with queens or jacks, but given the fact I think her range is pretty capped, I'm going to go for the river bluff here, turning my pair of jacks into a bluff. I bet $130. I don't really expect to get called too often. I expect mostly folds from her and then the occasional all-in when she has pocket jacks. Unfortunately, what she decides to do in the moment is the latter of the two. She shoves all in for $260. My pair of jacks is obviously not good here. For only $130 more, we're getting a great price, but it's just too likely that she has pocket jacks here. I'm not even putting her on an ace or a 10. It's a very strange hand and a very strange line from her. Not exactly too sure what she had as I was putting her on queens or jacks. We're going to go with jacks. Unfortunate that our river bluff did not pay off. We asked her to show for the vlog, but she doesn't want to because she plays with a lot of these players on the daily. No worries though, she told us off the table that she did have pocket queens with the queen of diamonds. I just don't know how this hand plays out in this manner. My river bet should have got the job done. There's the diamond draw to worry about. Any 10 beats her, an ace beats her, king queen beats her. Interesting line for her, but she said she was going for the bluff and felt like that was the only way she could win. Not too much fold equity there though when she shoves her $260 over my $130 bet. I don't really think that's going to work too often, but in the moment she found the one hand she could do it against, king jack offsuit and the wolf. Nice hand, Emmy, and on to the last hand of the night. Last hand of the night, we look down at ace king offsuit from early position. I raise it up to $15 and we get 2 callers. 3 ways to the flop here. 49 in the pot comes king, king 8. Bang, we flop trips. Music to our ears when the big blind leads out into us for $23. He could be doing this with a worse king or a diamond draw. People like to do that occasionally. The button gets out of the way and the action's on me. I think I need to be going for the raise here. If he has any king, it's unlikely he would fold. Additionally, we need to get value from the diamond draws. I think I make a mistake in the moment and just put in a flat call, which gives him a pretty cheap turn. Lucky for us, the turn shouldn't change too much, comes the 6 of spades, and now he fires out for $30. Not going to make the same mistake twice now. We need to build the size of the pot, get some value, and hope to get our stacks in by the river. Big blind bets out for $30, so I carve out a nice chunky size bet here of $95. Little over 3x, the opponent postures for a little while before coming to the realization that he did not have the best hand, takes one more look, mucks him over to the dealer, and we're going to take down that pot with our flop trips. Alright you guys, that wraps up that session. Obviously we're back in our hotel room. We got out of that game for $355. We bought in for $500. That's a net loss of $145 on the session. If you guys like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, comment down below anything that you feel necessary to comment. If you guys are in the El Paso area, that'll be the next stop on this trip, followed by Albuquerque and then Midland, Lubbock, all that fun stuff. As always, good luck on the felt, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace. Thanks for watching to the end of my video. Click my head below to subscribe and stay in the loop. See you next time.